All right, you guys. So I am testing. I'm also trying to make sure that I am live on two versions. Okay. Hopefully we're live. We are live, but okay. So what I did was I tried to make my live on vertical as well. And I don't know if I did it right or what, but that is basically what I was trying to do. And I was trying to charge my mic. I don't know. Like the thing is supposed to charge it. Girl, I don't know. We had a dentist appointment today and it was a cleaning and she's talking about I might be allergic to the bonding. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't know how long I'm supposed to be doing this. Y'all the professionals. Y'all supposed to know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't have any pain. I don't have anything. Like just, but she did scratch my gums and try to act like she didn't do it. Yeah. I'm a good patient, but I was like, y'all are pushing it today. When you go, I think they had a different person doing my cleaning or whatever, and she had put a wet towel on my face and she was like wiping it. I was like, ma'am, please don't do that. Please just get a dry towel, please. Y'all know I got my makeup on at the dentist. I had somewhere to go, I was done. I was done. I'm like, I need to get out this chair today. Okay, today. Anyway, today we are doing our Streamtober and we're going to make up any of the things that we missed. I see that we're live, but I'm going ahead and get into our topic. Don't want to take too much of your time. So, it's October. We're getting ready to go into, glow up season. What can we do to lock in for the end of the year or start planning our glow up for the next year? But I don't want us to get sidetracked into, only be talking about the physical and we forget about the internal glow up. Okay. I feel like we want to get the workouts, we want to get the diets. Myself, I had personally fell off or whatever due to stress and everything like that. But at the same time, I'd be walking by the mirror and I'd be like, you look good. Yeah, you got a little thickum, but you look good. You look healthy. I go to the doctor and they're like, so why do we see all of this weight? You're 5 feet, but we don't see it because we carry it very well. But it's just kind of like, the only opinion that really matters is yours, right? We oftentimes think that the people that have the best bodies or whatever, and who's to say what is, the best body, but the people that have the best bodies, the best hair, the best makeup, they dress nice and everything, just all put together, we seem to think they have it all together, but we really you don't know what it's like, on the other side. They might be facing things, difficulties that we don't even know about, that we can only imagine. Sometimes we see, stuff on social media and it's like the girl is going through a lot. Like she's allowing, I'm not going to say allowing because I never want to victim blame, but it's just like you allowing yourself to be put through these things. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we love ourselves enough to not subject ourselves to certain behaviors from these men, right? I saw somebody walking down the red carpet, because I don't know all the new celebrity names or whatever, but it's just like you're walking down the carpet and he is basically just pulling her. She can't stop, take a picture or nothing, things like that. And it's just kind of like, girl, you look better than him. We never want to judge a book by a cover, but it's just kind of like at the end of the day, you the prize. If they want to take your picture, they want to take your picture. If they want to ask you a question, they want to ask you a question. Which you just gonna not, you gonna let him drag you down or whatever because he don't want to get a picture because he look like a mutt. No, you know it. Moving on. But it's just kind of like I wish we loved ourselves more, you know, or we had higher self-esteem, higher self-love or whatever, so that we wouldn't put ourselves in certain, you know, because you can glow up externally. You can get your hair done, you can get your nails done, put the makeup on and everything like that. But if what's going on between your eyes, between your ears, if it's not giving, then it's not going to translate in how other, like, you'll accept whatever people, you know, try to treat you as. And that's really, really, really a bad circumstance. So that's my intro. I'm a little nervous. Okay. All right. So the other part is, we often care too much about external validation, you know, what other people think about us, you know, and it's really having to do with social media, because we have so many eyes on us all at the same time. And it's hard to be yourself, because the things that you like, the things that you take interest in, you know, that's why we have those finsters. That's why we have those things that, you know, we don't want people to know our innermost thoughts, because we don't think that they will be able to handle it. They'll say something about us. I feel like some of us, and that's why my other live stream was going to be nostalgia, but it's just kind of like we're living in the past. You know what I mean? We're living in the past, and we still feel like we have to impress people, like it's this imaginary adult high school or something like that, where we have to improve. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, but we have to, like, oh my God, I might have to start this over. I'm about to start it over. Should I start it over? Oh, I'm nervous because I feel like in the last couple of lives, I've been very, very vulnerable on my channel without respect of what other people might think, you know? And it's just kind of like, we don't have a lot of authenticity on social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We don't have the authenticity. We don't have it. And the reason we don't have it is because we are too afraid of what people might think about us. You know, it's hard to put yourself out there and to showcase who you really are. It is very hard to do that. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't even put themselves out there. They put on this persona of who they think would be accepted based off of what's already being accepted by the masses. So you have all of these factory people, right, that exist on social media. And it's just like, where is the authenticity? Where is the originality? Where is the different perspective? Where are the real stories? But we oftentimes, you know, we're too judgmental on people. Not saying that anybody was judging me. I guess not saying that anybody was judging me, but it's just kind of like, you just never know. You just never know. And I feel like we all have that, you know, that voice in our head that says, oh, you can't do this, or you shouldn't be sharing that, or you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And it's hard to be yourself. It's hard to be yourself. It's hard to really talk about stuff because you don't know how people would take it, you know? And I feel like as we moving from October into, you know, December and moving into January, as we set those intentions for the next year, you know, we have to focus on the internal glow up. How do we change how we see ourselves? How do we change how we show up for ourselves? How do we change what we believe about ourselves? Because you can't become her if you don't already believe that you are already her. You have to know that there's already an existence, a version of the her that you're trying to get to. And you have to believe that you're worth it so you can start, like, you know, walking into it. They say you fake it till you make it. But if you don't believe that you even worth faking it, then you ain't gonna never make it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to put it on. But at the same time, you don't want to put too much energy into faking it that you forget to actually make it. And that comes with the mental. Okay, that comes with the mental. And then the other part is like, you know, hold on, I gotta check my notes because I was vibing. I was vibing. You know, I feel like when we're keeping up the facade, you attract relationships and friendships based off of the facade. And those connections are only going to last as long as you can keep up the facade. The moment you break character is the moment that all of it is going to fall apart. I've seen all the TV shows. I've seen all of the crime stories and everything like that. The moment you break character is the moment it all falls apart. And that's the other thing. Like, who wants to live a life where you constantly have to be looking over your shoulder? Like, do they like me? Do they accept me? What do they think about me? You know, do I look too fat or whatever the case may be? It's like, when do you ever get to truly enjoy your life? You know what I mean? Like, really enjoy yourself. And why do we feel like we have to do things that other people are doing because they're doing it, but we want to do something that's different and nobody's doing it? You know, being the first to do something is always going to be the hard thing, but it's just like we have to make ourselves happy, because at the end of the day, who are you living for? Are you living for other people, or are you living for yourself? The biggest regret is the things that we didn't do, the things that we didn't say, the experiences we didn't have. You know what I mean? So we want to make sure that, again, the internal glow up. Okay? Internal glow up. It's hard for you to glow up internally if you have not spent time trying to get to know yourself. Like, do you know yourself? Do you care for yourself? Do you have your own interests? A lot of us are following behind other people, but it's just kind of like, have you even discovered who you are? I think we like the group vibe, being in those partnerships and friendships and those networks and different things of that nature, because we have a sense of community, and that is great. But I feel like it's more meaningful when you are with other people who have the same interest, like authenticity. Okay, my dog is back there playing. Let me tell you, I bought her some new snacks because she didn't like the other snacks I got her. Like, the dog she's spoiled. Anyway, so what a real glow up would be, not just physical beauty. And I do believe that physical beauty, you know, that the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Everybody is going to find something beautiful, and it might be different from other people. So it's all subjective. So you really need to just find the beauty within yourself. When you look in the mirror, how do you feel about yourself? That is the only thing that matters. That is the definitive factor. How other people feel, that's how they feel. That has nothing to do with you. Obviously, you know, I was just about to say, don't be a slob. But at the same time, like, if you want to be a slob, who's the judge? You being a slob, like, that's your prerogative, right? But at the same time, it's like, people do treat you the way you show up, but it's just like, your opinion is the only one that matters. Like, how you feel about yourself, what you think you look like, you know, that's you, right? And so our internal, it's like, you know, we see the Instagram models, we see, you know, the celebrities and different things like that. And I'm not going to lie, I'd be so surprised that, you know, you read these little articles or whatever about the things that they're going through. And it's just like, if you only knew how obviously the world thinks you're amazing. The world thinks you're beautiful and this and that, but you don't find it in yourself. Like, you don't think it's strange for you to be a mega superstar, to have all the best albums ever, and you are tolerating him dogging you out like that. You don't think that that's crazy? You don't think that that's, you know, like, I don't know. Like, you don't think that something is wrong with that, you know? And that makes me feel like, what kind of environment are you in where people, you know, like, you would accept something like that? You know what I mean? You would accept somebody talking about you like that on the blogs. You would accept, you know, certain behaviors. You know, do you not know who you are? Like, we know who you are, but maybe you don't know who you are. And that's a lot to handle right there, you know? So it's just kind of like, we have to see it for ourselves, and we can't look to the celebrities, their idea of beauty, because even they don't have the self-love like we feel like they should, you know, because they be making questionable decisions. They don't even see themselves the way we see them. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, girl, you need to just do what you got to do for yourself. Okay. How do you view yourself? And it's hard to do that, because every time we get on the social media, we're seeing highlight reels. And sometimes we feel like we're not in the right place, or we're not in the right body, and we're not, you know, like, sometimes like we're some type of mistake or something like that. But I feel like God don't make mistakes. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, if you want to be slim, you have to work for that. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, are you doing it for yourself right? For your optimum health? Or are you doing it to fit the mold of someone else? You know what I mean? Because if you do that, you're fitting the mold of someone else and you finally achieve that, well, why is it so hard for you to maintain that? Because have you became the version of yourself or the version of that person that you are willing to maintain that physique? Like, you have to eat like them. You have to think like them. You have to, like, the psychology of food. Like, when you taste something, like when they eat red lentil pasta, they taste red lentil pasta. But when I taste it, it tastes like cardboard. I don't know. But you have to develop those types of taste buds, those types of habits and different things of that nature. And I feel like we need to, be more authentic to ourselves and our own glow up journey. We have to make sure, again, that it's internal. It's all in our head, because you can get in a relationship, and even though you are fly and cute and beautiful and everything like that, if you're not willing, right, to glow up upstairs, you'll be accepting anything. And he'd be like, oh my God, I got this beautiful girl and she willing to do all this other stuff. You know what I mean? No, you have to make sure that the external and the internal glows up together. It's a cohesive, collective unit. You need both if you're going to do it, But again, the only opinion that matters is yours. For real. Let me make sure I'm getting my notes in. Okay? Something that helped me glow up inside and out is really focusing on optimum health. A lot of my family members, we from Mississippi. So Mississippi is not number one in a lot of things, but it's number one in obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and all the other stuff. So obviously I have this. And then growing up, in the 2000s and the 90s and stuff, there was this hyper fixation on being skinny. So like, skinny was the standard of beauty. You know what I mean? And it really did a number. I wanted to be on America's Next Top Model. Okay. But now that I've matured, it's just kind of like, we have a nice shape. People pay money to get our shape. You know what I mean? We need to find the love and the beauty, and we're getting older as well. We need to find the love and the beauty within our physical shape. Obviously, we want to be healthy and different things of that nature, but we need to learn how to love ourselves as we are. And that is the move. Something that has been really helping me with my self-concept is, again, my affirmations. I switched my affirmations up, and I'm actually thinking about making a service where I could make affirmations for other people in their own voice so that they can listen to it in different things of that nature. I'm also thinking about doing like a routine. Like, what I like to do, I have my affirmations and I listen to it. And then on the iPhone, you have this thing, because I listen to it overnight and during the day. You know how you go and it has like an ear on your phone, and you can click it and it has background sounds. I like to listen to rain. But I'm also playing I have a whole playlist of all of my affirmations that I listen to overnight. And it has to do with my self concept. So self-love, self-obsession, social media, all these different things, something internally that I'm working on is, even if, and I will tell you this though, if you start trying to manifest, things in your life will start going crazy, like going ham. Okay. But at the same time, it's a part of the transformation. It's internal. You have to keep going on your journey. You have to keep going. You have to keep showing up. And that's my thing. Like, stuff go crazy, I take a break. And he's like, girl, you got to keep going. You got to keep showing up. And so that is what I highly, highly recommend. But I'm thinking about putting that on my website. Like, I can make the affirmations. Some people do it and they speed it up, and I think that helps too. But at the same time, I feel like you hearing yourself say something really helps. And I also like to put it on the background of like symphony music, like pop Bridgerton, stuff like that. And hold on, I'm gonna play a little bit for you, but I feel like that is going to help with your self-concept. Like, you have to hear yourself saying it over and over and over again, because it's going to register in your subconscious that you believe this thing, right? Let me play one. Let me see. I have one called it's a playlist. It's called Good Night Goddess. That's the one for night, and a Good Morning one. Okay. So I have one that's like the perfect day of my life. I have thriving on my terms. I think thriving on my terms has to do with my body.
Every day, I honor my body by choosing foods that nourish, fuel, and strengthen me.
Okay, and I don't want the because I think that sound, I don't want them to copyright my stuff, but it's just kind of like that's what I listen to, right? That's nourishing foods, right? Making choices out of health and not stress, right? Because sometimes we have the habit of stress eating, right? Because we stressed out, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like soothing myself in that way, and I'm finding that I'm making the habits, everything that I said in my affirmation tape, I'm doing it now. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we quantum leap. That's what we talk about, internal shift, internally doing it. I know some people are like, oh, this is mojo, but I feel like it really does work, and I am sharing it. Okay. And I made it myself. So if you think we could do it, we might do like a trial version, right? A trial version or whatever like that. But it's just like, I definitely think that helps because, you have to retrain your brain, how you think about yourself. And the only way that you can physically do it without going like to a therapist and things like that, one, question why you're making these choices. Are you not showing up because what is the reason why you're not showing up? You know what I mean? Like, what is the reason? Are you being lazy? Are you procrastinating? Well, if you're being lazy, then why are you being lazy? Why are you procrastinating? You know what I mean? Do you have this perfectionist thing where you want to be perfect all the time? That's me. I want to be perfect. I didn't like the last time I was getting on here and my hair was orange. And now it's kind of frizzy because it's kind of raining outside and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? But it's just like the show must go on. You have to keep going. You have to show up for your dreams. You have to show up for yourself, because nobody's going to see it unless you see it. Everybody got their own vision, their own prescription, and you just have to do it. You might have to be the first one to do it. And being the first one to do something, everybody gonna say you crazy. Everybody gonna say you don't make sense. Everybody gonna say this is outlandish. They not gonna see it for you, but they don't have the eyes for that. So you just have to do it. But again, the song that's coming into my mind right now is TLC Unpretty. You can fix your hair. You can get your nose done. But if you don't work on the inside, then it's all for nothing, because who can tell you what you look like? If you got to look in the mirror. How do you feel about yourself? That's the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters, how do you feel about yourself? It's the internal glow up. And I really feel like those affirmations really, really help. Also, having a good playlist of music. I do try to listen to some of the new girls. I'm not gonna lie. I like Ken the Man. I like her. I like her stuff. She has really good self-concept music. Because I can't listen to the piano and stuff while I'm driving, because I'm really trying to get somewhere, right? I be really trying to get to work sometimes, so I need something that's going to really get me going. A couple of other songs to help you. Hold up. I have a commute playlist. I put Imagine Me. Imagine Me by Kirk Franklin is a really good song about self-love. You know what I mean? Ken the Man, we got First. We got I'm Perfect, Gorgeous, right? I have Lotto, There She Go. This is to go to work. Okay. Diva by Beyonce. Flo Milli, Conceited, Flawless, obviously. We got JT coming, Big Mama. Like, we have a whole, this is the commute. Pretty Girl Rock is a good one. I'm Her by Queen Naija or Naja. I think it's Naja. So yeah, we got that. That's that one playlist. I have multiple ones. I have one that's called It's About Me, because it's about your self-concept, right? So another one, let me see. Okay, Black Eyed Peas, My Humps, Go Hard, Nicki Minaj, Bow Down, I've Been On, Beyonce, Flawless, Hard by Rihanna, Diva again. Hold on. Yeah. I think I like Fergalicious by Fergie, Obsessed by Mariah, Juiciest by Alicia Keys, Only Girl in the World by Rihanna, Cockiness, Rihanna, I don't know, hold on. like that. She's talking about going to the gym. This is Victoria Monet. And then On My Mama by Victoria Monet. Ego by Beyonce. Rockstar by Rihanna. Yeah, we have a whole lot. And then you can listen to that whole Renaissance album by Beyonce, right? Then you can do I'm Coming off the playlist. I actually like Nicki Minaj. She is a little off. I don't know what's wrong with her, but, you know, we're driving. I need something to drive. And, you know, Conceited by Remy Ma. How could we ever forget that? $1 Million Girl by Trina and Carrie Hilson. But I don't know because he's got the other guy on there. Five Star Girl. I like Cardi B. I got to get her new album. I love music. I love music, and I try to separate the artists. Live Your Life by T.I., Diamonds by Rihanna, Hot Sugar by Tamar Braxton, Please by Toni Braxton, I'm Every Woman by Whitney Houston. What? Come on now. Yeah. Independent Women, Part 1 and 2. More Than a Woman by Aaliyah. Yeah. And then we got some Megan Thee Stallion on here as well. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm trying to add to my playlist. If you have other songs that you listen to, let me know. So what I do is I put like a devotional. So I listen to the gospel first, you know, I listen to the gospel. So we might put that Kirk Franklin on Imagine Me first. And then as we are getting on the highway, we got to pump this up. All I do is win. There she go. We got to listen. I really like Tyrant. It's crazy how many times I have listened to Tyrant by Beyonce. Like, I love Tyrant. Tia and Tamera. Okay, yeah. I love a good playlist. If you have songs that you recommend, please let me know. I'm going to check the chat. Anything on that Renaissance album, anything on there. But my favorite ones, oh my God. I like all of them. Just listen to the whole album and you are going to feel it. You're going to really feel it. You know what I mean? Alien Superstar, All in Your Mind. No, I feel like that. Yeah. Energy, Heated. I like to play it in order. Pure Honey, Summer Renaissance, Thick, and Virgo's Group. I like that. That's in here. And it's in order. It's in, you got Lotto, It's Given. Shawty is a 10. I'm That Chick by Mariah. Glamorous by Fergie. Like, come on now. You got to have a good playlist. It's going to help you only listen to music that is uplifting women, one, and then two, your self-concept, okay? The type of relationships, everything. It has to all be a part of your being. How do you walk into, quantum shift your identity? You have to actually become that person. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you consuming? Right? What do you look like? That is just like, okay, yeah, but what are you thinking like? How do you think about certain things? How would you respond if this happened to you? How is the new version of you responding? Right? See, the old me would have jumped on you, right? But I didn't do that. Okay? I have grown. That's Shanae. I have grown. I am woman, right? So it's like, you have to become her by actually becoming her, being her, a physical representation of your new self in the way that you act, the things that you listen to, the people you hang around, everything, right? And anything that's fake or a facade will be translated into your new version. So if you're faking the funk, it will show up in relationships that are fake. You might attract a relationship where the man is just, doing something to get with you for right now, but he really not, you know what I'm saying? He really not that guy. He really not him like that for real. Because are you really her? I know. So on that note, it has been 30 minutes. I will see you in the next video. I'm probably going to have to slice and dice in the beginning because I was a little nervous. It was a slow burn, but I felt it at the end. If you have some music in mind, please comment that down below so we can so that we can expand so that we can expand, my mouth got dry, our playlist. And if you think it's a good idea for me to like do affirmations for other people, let me know. But I really think that it helps. Okay, I have a loop that goes on for 8 hours, and I try to get 8 hours of sleep, so I know how much sleep that I've got. Oh, another thing that I do, I listen to these subliminals by Mind Persuasion. He is on YouTube and SoundCloud. Okay, so yeah, I hope you like this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.